Hunter saves it. Hunter Hughes is coming around. Here comes Colton Garner. It's Hunter Hughes!
Turn 4 for the final time. Who's got more ponies? Checkered flag out. Bluegrass 150 goes to Ian Miller.
And welcome back to the Daily Dribble Podcast, guys. As always, I'm your host, Nick Zammit.
Good, get the name out there. It's like, hey, Joseph Newgarden, you're the guy with the sperm commercial. Yeah.
That was a little bit messy, but we got it done. Back to it for week number 2, when Wednesday night on iRacing.com can only mean one thing: the return of Wednesday Night Dash. And tonight, 20 of the best on iRacing take on upstate Illinois, just across the border for the Gateway 75. Jackson Lambros with you in the broadcast booths as we are getting this one teed up for you. Qualifying underway for the time being. Watching Robert Lewis come in after a P5, now P7 run with Colton Gardner, Lane Snow in P5. Garrett Jarnigan out in front, going to try and run it back. Here's Jacob Barker out in second with 2 minutes to go in qualifying. We've got a packed field for you tonight. 20 cars on the grid. Let's get you filled in here with the track. Worldwide Technology Raceway, another newer track to the NASCAR scene. Obviously, seen it a little bit more frequently with Gateway, or excuse me, with the IndyCar Series and others. First opened in 1997. There's been plenty of others in the area, though, and very much carrying with it that Phoenix-like trait of rolling momentum and finding right places. But the car has a lot of road course characteristics to it. But should be 75 laps here in the Xfinity cars. If it was anything like what things were like at Phoenix, it is going to be, well, hopefully not as slippery, but you hope it's going to be a phenomenal show. Colton Gardner snapped a very long winless streak with his win last week at Phoenix. Last time we saw him in victory lane, July 17th of last year. The Truck Series finale, ironically, also at Las Vegas. Excuse me. I'd also mention, again, even with this very, very high capacity field tonight, we'll see Hunter Hughes with us next week at Daytona for his only start. Join Wednesday Night Dash drivers DJ Fluke and Eric Richardson as they talk about the world of motorsports, both real and simulated. This week, they discuss the premiere of Wednesday Night Dash, Alex Palou clinching the IndyCar Series 2 races early, and Connor Zilich's scary fall-in victory at Watkins Glen. Download FR Racing's Garage Talk on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or tune in after the race. All new episodes released Friday mornings with the replay airing Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern right here on Stadium Scene TV. quick look at your driver standings while we have it. Colton Gardner, after that maiden victory, leads over Dawson Buchanan. Tyler Lugo Vickery, who had a phenomenal win in the Indy Racing World Series, broke a very long streak there as well. So the million-dollar question, could we see him go back-to-back? Jax Milan in third, Casey Tucker in fourth, or excuse me, you got a two-way tie here with Casey Tucker and Chris Fuge for fifth, with laps led points balancing that out. Here's how they'll line up for the Gateway 75. Garrett Jarnigan on pole alongside Jacob Barker. Tyler Lugo Vickery rolling off in third. Dawson Buchanan is fourth. Puntarelli in fifth alongside Jax Milan. Boy, those two were going at it last night. Casey Tucker on the inside of Lane Snow. That will be your fourth row. Looking a little bit further on, Brian McKinney will roll off in ninth alongside Colton Gardner, who will try to go back-to-back, rolling off from 10th. John Miles, 11th, with Robert Lewis in 12th. DJ Fluke in 13th, alongside his FR Racing teammate Eric Richardson in P14. Harrison Santos in 15th. He'll be alongside J.P. Jones. Getting to the back here with Nick Warboy and Bill Mulfield. No time from Eric Mattingly. And for some reason, despite me just watching, I am included in this list as well. So should be a one-stopper, very similar to what we saw in Vegas. It's going to be very interesting to see, as I would argue tire management is even more of a factor compared to Vegas. Let's grab your P2 starting driver very quickly here. Jacob, it's Jackson Lambros in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing phenomenal. Hey, we'll make it short and sweet. Got yourself in a prime position here. Very different environment from Gateway. What's the mindset going into these 75 laps?
Keep it clean. Don't wreck anybody else. Keep the tires clean. Just have a good time.
Good deal. Best of luck to you, Jacob.
Appreciate it.
Team standings starting to get a little bit dicey here already as FR Racing tries to make a charge to the front of the field. And again, you talking with Tyler Lugo Vickery last night, it just feels like this is a professor's kind of race, trying to treat this with a thoughtful approach. And not just the enemy, but more specifically, the track. Jarnigan on the inside, Barker on the outside. Hammer immediately dropped from Jarnigan, and we are racing Gateway. Tyler Lugo Vickery wastes no time in that 124, getting all the way to the inside to snatch second. Here's Dawson Buchanan in the middle, trying to recover. Jacob Barker on the outside gets some pretty big losses at the start. Here comes Jax Milan on the inside, the Pioneer car. Clean start throughout the field. Great hole shot there from Lucas Puntarelli, making up 2-3 positions. And we see that round 2 from Milwaukee yesterday as we get ready to ring that bell again. And we already have a car off. We might have had a problem with Eric Richardson. As we rewind the tapes here. It was ER who was the most off pace. Here it is. Watch the 13 coming into turn number 3. Just chucked it in a little bit too much. Man, great evasion there from Lewis in the 20. It's a little bit of a code brown there for Robert Lewis, but everybody able to get back to it in one piece. very curious where the pace car is. There it is. Well, in case you missed it yesterday, absolute barn burner in the Indy Racing World Series. That series, by the way, is still in full swing, and we're visiting some of your favorite places. I'm talking Indianapolis, Michigan, Texas, Laguna Seca, and new for this year and this season, Portland. Still time to get into the series, and we'll pro-rate your entry. Visit frracing.online.com/IRWS to learn more and register today. We'd love to see more of the Wednesday night dash guys make those starts on Tuesday night, because I absolutely adore IndyCar racing on iRacing.com. I'd love to see just a couple more entries in there. I got nothing against the size of our grid right now, but I am all for one having more in the party, especially with the suite of races we've got coming up. It looks like everybody's gonna stay out for the time being. Haven't seen anybody go into pit lane just yet. As Eric Richardson is indeed the only one to have actually come in. And that was obviously with some issues, so we'll re-rack them. One more time. Tyler Lugo Vickery in a very interesting paint job on that 124. PGR colors and some Wholesale University sponsors on the outside. Second year in a row we've seen the real-life NASCAR guys here in Illinois, but it still feels like it's always the lower rungs that have better racing, I feel like. Cup Series has been phenomenal, but it's always that little extra layer of drama where it's Blaney running out of fuel, guys really getting their fangs out and using the bumper to move guys. Some phenomenal racing, though, at this track in the Xfinity and the Truck Series. We're going to see, hopefully, more of the same in just a few moments' time. And we're going to try it once again. Jarnigan still fending on the inside. Another great restart from the 32, and we're back to green with 6 laps away. Torelli down low, but a great start from Dawson Buchanan, trying to roll all of that momentum to the outside. Here comes Milan trying the outside. Good momentum, gonna look to the inside here of Jacob Barker. Again, was talking about this with you last night. No one likes to experiment the way Jax Milan does. John Miles in the 54 is already lap traffic. He's trying to keep himself out of the way here of the rest of the field. Just in front of Casey Tucker. And I'm going to need to reset the timing tower here because it is indeed still Garrett Jarnigan out in front. 32 Cracker Barrel Crawler has a little bit of a wiggle, goes way up. And now we'll see a new leader in the form of Tyler Lugo Vickery, who's going to try to go back-to-back 2 nights in a row. That battle sorts itself out. Now Dawson Buchanan looks to the inside of Lucas Puntarelli. That's further back. It looks like there was a little bit of a puff of smoke there. I think Tyler Lugo Vickery might have gotten into the wall just a smidgen there. Again, while this is a fun league, we're not here to learn. That's what BSRS is for. That's why we do the ARCA series. Some guys are really trying to use this to gain pro rating. Tyler Lugo Vickery, a great example of that. He said after the race yesterday, after getting his win, I was so close to finally getting some kind of black belt. I was so close in Rallycross. Real life factors kind of kept me from doing that, but I feel good about this year. And another win here would be absolutely huge. Dawson Buchanan on the inside of Lucas Puntarelli will work himself onto that bottom spot of the podium. Max Milan on the inside of a very high Jacob Barker. Chevy versus Chevy into turn number 3. And we're yellow again. Not entirely sure what happened there. But it is Tyler Lugo Vickery out in front. And P2 will work his way into the pits. No other takers this time by. Jackson Milan going as well. And ooh, late fake from Dawson Buchanan. Actually, a lot of guys coming in right after. I'm not sure if that's a viable line or not. Is that allowed, chat? I'm not sure if that's allowed. So, first pit stop of the day. So this will cycle Lucas Puntarelli to the front, with Jacob Barker now advancing up into second. Robert Lewis gets up into third. We have not talked about this phenomenal looking car of Eric Mattingly, the Toyota Super Colors. Absolutely love it. More than you can afford, pal. Eric Richardson advances up into sixth. Hunter Santos into 7th, Warboy into 8th. Garrett Jarnigan will rejoin in 9th ahead of Jackson Milan. This is going to be very interesting to see the split in tire strategy and see how much of a difference here 14 laps of tire wear is going to make. line them up side by side once again. Don't have a graphic to show you guys this. I do, I just didn't put it up. But you guys can join us Friday night, August 22nd at 11 p.m. Eastern for a free GT Sprint community race. This month, we're visiting the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway for a 60-minute sprint race with the GTP, LMP2, and GT3 classes. Practice opens at 10:30 p.m. Eastern and will be broadcasted right here on Stadium Scene TV with enough interest. Visit frracingonline.com/GT Sprint to learn more and join the Discord. It'd be a good show. If I'm not streaming that, I might have to get in on that because I've got Indy as a track. Hey, I spend so much time broadcasting and hardly any. I do some of the late modified stuff for ovals and nothing else. I paid for the subscription, chat. I gotta use this a little bit more. It's hard to complain when I get a show like this every single week. Back to it on lap number 17. Puntarelli trying to challenge, but Tyler Vickery is already launching off the inside. A little bit of the chrome horn there, used from Barker running the 85 up the racetrack. And we are really checking up further back. Eric Richardson in the wall. Like the 32 maybe of Janigan, or no, that was Santos on the inside of Jax Milan. That's some big positions made up very quickly there from Garrett. Another big move further back as that might be a car a lap down already, actually. That is Colton Gardner in the 40 here already. One lap down, struggling in his campaign for a repeat win. Lucas Puntarelli still fending off from Jacob Barker for the time being. And caution once again. Oh, that's a big one. Couple of cars involved. The 27 of Nick Warboy. Not Colton Gardner. Looks like maybe Casey Tucker sidestepping. Wow, what a major hit there. Let's try and get a better look here. This is your restart. Dawson Buchanan right behind in the 4. Who goes around? Oh! That might have been... Oh my goodness! Major lick there between Warboy and the 23. Wow, Eric Mattingly. Really getting it there. We'll fast forward a little bit here, as it should be right here into turn number 1 that we see it. There it is. Gets contact from the 20 behind of Robert Lewis and gets really shipped. The 2 BRR teammates colliding. Oh my goodness. A lot of guys having some Code Brown moments trying to check up there. The 8 of Brian McKinney trying to navigate his way through. And Mattingly just completely ditched there. So quick restart. We'll try it one more time here. And 2 new drivers on the front row, Jackson Milan and Harrison Santos. not even a third of the way through the Gateway 75. Thanks so much for making your Wednesday night a part of ours. As it has been a blast here already from the booth, and I guarantee you the drivers feel the same behind the wheel. Milan on the inside of Santos, seen a lot of great starts. Here's another. As Milan is able to get away immediately. Jarnigan with a big look to the inside, trying to clear Buchanan. Can't get there. Now pressure for Buchanan on the inside of Santos. He'll have the whole nose ahead coming into turn number 3. Santos going very wide. This will give Jarnigan and Tucker an opportunity to go through. Here comes the 11 as he gets his way up into the top 5 for the first time. Luke advancing a position in the 88 as well. Trouble up back for Brian McKinney as now Lucas Puntarelli tries to go through in the gear wrench machine. He's got to get back in line. Now Tyler Lugo Vickery on the move here inside of Bill Molefield. This is good stuff. 2 by 2 in the mid-pack. Middle to defend for Punarelli. McKinney doesn't want to be any part in this battle right now as Molefield and Fluke go way up track. Punarelli goes through unscathed, but man, Tyler Lugo Vickery shoots out like a cannon. Now it's a good run for Tucker. We have not seen a lot from the 11 tonight, but he is all over the bumper of one of your race leaders. Now we're starting to break into duels. Man, major drop at the start from Colton Gardner and from Harrison Santos. Here comes Jacob Barker. And here comes Jarnigan. Trying to defend on the outside, but it's no use. The 11 of Casey Tucker rockets into the 3rd spot. How much farther to the front can the 11 go? What a move from the 11. And it is game on for the lead still, by the way. Buchanan all over the bumper of Milan for the lead. The back lane snow on the inside of Harrison Santos, who continues to drop back. Bill Molefield in the 21 of JP Jones here on the inside. Santos has been trying to make the outside work, and it has not had any pace. Brian McKinney, though, has really turned up the wick here on this restart, and it's Lucas Puntarelli leading McKinney, Gardner, and Barker just a little bit behind here, as here comes Barker to the inside. Just up the road, Gardner trying to do the same with Lucas Puntarelli. A little bit of contact corner to corner between the 40 and the 85. Now Gardner's going to lead this pack. Barker and McKinney battling, though, is going to give Richardson a chance to go through in the 13. And all of this battling has brought Nick Warboy in the 27 right back into the fray as well. And the move we missed in all of that hustle and tussle in the mid-pack, it's Dawson Buchanan with a second of a gap already on Jackson Lambros. Casey Tucker has not taken his foot off the gas one bit. Can he get his way up into P2? And this battle is immediately restarting now. Lugo victory on the inside of Garrett Jarnigan. Big dive on the brakes. Very close to the kind of racing we saw at Milwaukee yesterday. A very similar track and style of racing. And Tyler is loving it. He was talking about how much he loves these kind of technical tracks. Some really solid green flag running here. As further back, Poor Boy sets his sights for McKinney and tries to get that 27 into the top 10. Eric Richardson up in the wall trying to defend from Barker down low. Richardson, always a guy we're more used to seeing on the outside in these short tracks. And another big lick in the wall there. Barker been trying to work the inside for a couple of laps now and might finally get that move done. Not quite. Richardson keeps it out of the wall. Warboy really had to hang on to it further back. And now here comes Lane Snow, big slide. And he's able to gather it up, but we got another caution here. Looks like it might have been Robert Lewis around. Trying to get a replay here coming into turn number 3. And it looks like the caution might have already come out. Big slide. Oh, there's the contact. Able to get it going immediately. But very understandable to see the yellow being thrown out. And this will cycle Vickery and Jarnigan to the front of the field here. With Dawson Buchanan, Jax Milan, Casey Tucker. Who else we got further back here? Lucas Puntarelli, the 28 of Santos. Man, a lot of guys coming into the pits. As we reach halfway home here, this is going to be a pivotal pit stop. I actually think almost the entire field. This is Garrett Jarnigan. The entire field, I do believe, has come in. It's Dawson Buchanan who's going to lead him off. Great stop from the 4 crew, and it is new life for Jacob Barker. Colton Gardner gets some good positions gained too from almost being a lap down. He'll be up in 4th now for this restart. Wow, that really, really turns the tables of this. But it's a very similar front row to what we saw for the start here. Oh, dude, multi-homer night for Gavin Sheets. Sorry, I had real notifications on my phone. Oh, Padres. Jackson Lambros with you here in the Stadium Scene TV broadcast booth. Super happy to have you with us for week 2 of Wednesday Night Dash here for the Gateway 75. As we are getting set for the 3rd restart. And it has been a really big advantage for anybody in that prime spot. Is this the restart that changes? You've got Jacob Barker on the outside, Jax Milan, who's always been a monster on the restarts. And Tyler Lugo Vickery, who is keen on these kinds of racetracks. We'll try it one more time here. Back to it, Buchanan drops immediately, and Milan gonna get to the apex before Barker and Lugo Vickery, but now Tyler's gonna try it down low too. Buchanan out by himself, and now Vickery continuing to try the inside of Jacob Barker. Just behind Casey Tucker on the inside of Colt Gardner. Casey Tucker continuing this dark horse performance as now he looks to the inside, trying to snatch P4 from Barker. Puntarelli just behind in the gear wrench Supra. Oh, here comes Derek Booker. He turns the 11. Somehow gathers it back up, but the 11's up to the wall. He collects Nick Warboy. He stays out of trouble, and we've got a caution. And an over-ambitious Lucas Puntarelli might have just killed the night for Casey Tucker. Let's take a look at that replay. Try to get a better view here. Trying to make... Just trying so hard to hang on to it. Warboy saw a gap and went for it, not really knowing why that gap was open in the first place. But man, what a sequence there on that restart. Let's check in with Tyler Vickery here for your pit boss update. Tyler, it's Jackson Lambros in the broadcast booth. You got me? How's the car feeling right now? Well, obviously some chaos here, but you've been managing it very well.
Caution came out. I was making a good run with trying to just be off strategy. I mean, I love this track. This is one of my favorite tracks because of just how technical it is. I've seen everyone else with their qualifying time and then seeing the times that they're running, but they're tearing up the tires so quickly because of them trying to downshift to 3. I'm just staying at 4, braking a little earlier, and it's working. I'm just hoping we get some momentum to where I can finally get around Dawson. I know in the long run.
Yep.
Just patience now.
Feels like shades in Milwaukee yesterday.
Yep. Hey, at least I got some laps led early on.
There you go.
Gotta finish it off this time.
Leave you to it. Best of luck here, Tyler.
Yep, thank you.
Tyler Lugo Vickery, your race winner yesterday in the Indy Racing World Series at Milwaukee, rolling off on the inside. That low line has been the place to be on restarts. And, man, I feel like TLV has really been salvaging the most from that on the inside. So we will see what he can do from this side of the racetrack. Was still able to make it work and get a move done on Colton Gardner and Jacob Barker in the 12 on the restart. But we'll try and run it again. Don't count out Garrett Jardigan just a couple rows back as well. He's slowly working his way back into the mix there in the Cracker Barrel 32. Alon with another chance to lead this thing. Buchanan off like the cannon. Colton Gardner trying to make the most of that restart as well. Jackson Milan is not giving up on the outside, but we are 3 wide further back. Gardner, Puntarelli, and Buchanan. Buchanan all the way up into the line. Puntarelli will lead the 2. This might be major losses for Colton Gardner. Now the 8 of Brian McKinney wants to tiptoe on by on the inside. Gardner able to hang on up high for now, but wiggles on the throttle. Richardson and JP Jones battling just a little bit further back on your screen. Lane Snow battling with DJ Fluke, and Lane Snow on the outside. Now Warboy trying to make it work around the outside in the Oreo machine. Let's go for a ride here with Casey Tucker in the 11. Big dive to the inside. Did he clear it? Oh my goodness, what a move. Dude fully cleared JP Jones and is now trying to get through Eric Richardson, and he does. Oh, big contact. John Miles is the passenger as JP Jones goes around, and we'll go back to caution, I think. No? Wow. What a move. Here's a replay. JP Jones way up in the marbles, trying to defend from John Miles, and gets on the throttle just a smidge too early and takes both of them out. We'll actually stay green here. Buchanan with a half-second lead right now over Tyler Lugo Vickery. Casey Tucker able to clear Eric Richardson and get that 11 car up into 9th. As just up the road, Brian McKinney being another sleeper tonight, getting that 8 into P8. Another look to the inside from Garrett on McKinney. Tucker is right there. Another courageous dive to the inside. It's turn 3 this time as everybody's gathered up. It's freight train running from third on back, and Tucker is loving this fight right now. McKinney taking another look on the inside of Lane Snow. Lane Snow all the way up in the wall there. Tucker tries to go middle 3. Clips the back of McKinney. And actually gets a little bit of toe help there to clear the 5. It's a phone booth fight right now in the mid-pack, but it's hard to tell who's battling who right now. Tucker has had some phenomenal pace, but Garrett Jarnigan is putting that pressure right back on the 11. And McKinney's just watching this scrap in his mirrors. You can see just how much the back of this car is yawing back and forth, how much it's wiggling once you put the right foot down and try to uncork all of this horsepower these Xfinity cars have on tap. Looks like Lane Snow got into the wall there. McKinney right there. As Tucker continuing to try and get past. Are we going to see a dive? McKinney rolling it to the outside, checks up. Brian trying to go as low as possible there to maximize the line, but it's not enough. Tucker goes through. How quick can Jarnigan make work of the 8? .32 making a look to the inside now. A little bit of wheel hop in there. Still side by side. Great defense so far, though, from Brian McKinney. As Jarnigan has been held off for a handful of laps now. Colton Gardner just up the road here trying to get that move on Puntarelli. And as we see so frequently with early green flag running, we're struggling to see enough rubber in different grooves right now for these races to be really made. It takes courage. It takes maybe a little bit of using the bumper or the door to clear the guy in front of you. We're seeing that struggle right now for Gardner because he can't take 5th. And further back, Garrett Jarnigan cannot get 8th from Brian McKinney. And this being one of our longest green flag stints so far, it's only going to be a matter of time before lap traffic becomes a factor here. Here comes Tucker with a look on the inside of Colton Gardner and makes that a very clean move. On board with Tucker as he tries to clear Puntarelli. It's so interesting that Gateway is a track has that road course style curving on the inside. And whether you're in the Indy cars or in a stock car, it is kind of general ruling to never really touch that, because that is Spin City. Gardner's still right in this mix. Nearly contact between the two. Actually think the 11 got nudged to the wall a little bit there. Where's Gardner gonna act in this scenario? He'll back off and let the two sort it out. Tucker still trying to push through. The 40's gonna give a big shove. Power of friendship to the inside. Casey Tucker gets help from Colton Gardner to clear Lucas Puntarelli. Wow! Was it intentional? Probably not. Was it cool? Yeah. Let's hop on gearbox. Casey Tucker here. As Puntarelli now tries to fend off from Gardner in the Scuba 40. Good launch from Gardner on the inside. His steady right foot and that ability to launch out of turn 3 is what got him to victory at Vegas. And with a great launch out of 3 there, he's able to carry all of that momentum through 1 and 2 and take that spot from Puntarelli. Garrett Jarnigan on the inside going to try and go through as well. Jarnigan with really, really good pace to start off this night and has just not been able to find it after the cautions. Kind of like having a good qualifying car versus having a good race trim. Sometimes you have a really, really good car in clean air. We're seeing that with Dawson Buchanan right now with a 1.5 second gap over Tyler Lugo Vickery, but sometimes you have cars that are, I don't want to totally make it sound like the Formula 1 movie here, but it's happier than you'd expect in dirty air, and it's cool with combat. Colton Gardner's very cool with combat right now. He's looking to the inside of Casey Tucker. Tucker gets up into the wall, and we'll let 3 cars go by. And the boulder rolls back to the bottom of the hill for the 11. Oh yeah, Jacob Barker is here too, by the way. All of these guys have been battling and they've just been slowly snowballing and getting up to the 12 now. Laps to go. Just over 10 laps to go here at Gateway. The podium is pretty much set, but the battle for the best of the rest is on, and it's going with Gardner to the inside of Jacob Barker. And just like in Vegas, the 40 of Colton Gardner becoming a late bloomer in this race on pace. Jarnigan gonna try and go with him. Trying to defend from Jarnigan. Not enough. Jarnigan clears him. still going back and forth. What a battle. Not too much of a battle up front, though, with Dawson Buchanan, a 3.5 second gap. Oh, big trouble there for Parker. Wow, what a save for the 12. Too much throttle there, started to get it into a spin, and it took some of the grass to get it done, but Jacob Barker able to keep the 12 in one piece. More problems for Tucker as he goes up into the wall now. It'll be a little bit of a shorter wait this time by if Dawson Buchanan can get this move done. We saw him win at the finale for last season, a Wednesday night dash at Michigan. And the caution's back out. Going through the field here, I honestly cannot tell you why. This is interesting. Buchanan immediately going to come in with 7 laps to go. And that might tell you where a lot of this field is at in terms of fuel. Santos stays out. Jarnigan stays out. Lane Snow stays out. He wants to get that lap back. And all of a sudden, Garrett Jarnigan could be in a prime position here. But with the difference in tire life, this race off of pit road going to be equally as important. That's big gains for Jax Milan, as he will improve to 3rd. So Jarnigan, the only one to actually stay out of the leaders. As I believe the 28 of Harrison Santos is indeed a lap down. So too was Lane Snow, who got that lap back. So we'll see what the strat is here for Harrison Snow. For Harrison Santos. This is going to be a spicy restart. Now it's going to be a great time to mention we do have one chance at a green-white-checkered finish. So one overtime finish, if we so please. Hopefully we'll be able to wrap this one up with a bow. Harrison gets that lap back. It will be Jarnigan and Buchanan, the two gentlemen who have led the vast majority of the laps tonight. Milan's had a good chunk of laps out in front as well. Can he potentially be the upset? We know how fast that inside line is. Colton Gardner has been lurking backstage, waiting for his moment to get into the front. Will he play the patient game and wait for the right time to strike? Ryan McKinney has been such an underdog tonight. What can he do from the outside of row number 3? It's been a long wait for Garrett Jarnigan as well. A bottom split Racing Series win. But if my record is looking at me right here, actually do not think he is won. A single win. March of this year in the Cup Cars at Martinsville. That was it. Buchanan, a dynamo last season. Jarnigan, always an underdog. Less so tonight with how dominant of an opening he's had to this night, but can he close? It took nearly a year for Colton Gardner to be back in victory lane. Can we finally see that happen again in just a fraction of the time? There's 5 laps to go here at Gateway, and Jarnigan into the Illinois sunset with a monster start. Milan looks down low. But Buchanan on fresh Goodyear rubber is able to roll it to the outside. Jarnigan getting swallowed whole by the field. Buchanan and Gardner go through. Last call for alcohol at the Gateway 75. Nobody home for Dawson Buchanan. Colton Gardner fending off for that bottom spot of the podium. Brian McKinney working through now. Heartbreak for Garrett Jarnigan. The stay out strategy. Ultimately what's biting him back now at the end. But he'll get another chance. Trouble for Tyler Lugo Vickery. And we'll do it one more time. Looked like it was Harrison Santos potentially getting involved there. What a turn of events there. For Garrett Jarnigan, absolute heartbreak. Still P6. And we'll get a chance to try and move forward again. But those Goodyears are begging for life. Colton Gardner will be on the inside this time by. Will he get a better chance? Gonna try and get this replay very quickly as it looks like there's damage to the 28. Here it is. So he has major plow, goes into the outside wall. And oh, it's further up. Wow. Is that John Miles? We're not getting the full story there. More trouble for Eric Mattingly as, wow, Tyler Lugo Vickery goes for a big ride. And gets struck with the ghosts of Christmas past. So John Miles coming in. And there was clearly some big issues there for Tyler Lugo Vickery. As we will start to line them up 2 by 2. Once again, it'll be 2 laps to go when we throw the green flag. How about Eric Richardson, who gets his way up into P6 as a result? Buchanan in the Callaway Dr. Pepper car, dominant all night. Are we going to see him finish in such a form? Can Jackson Milan be an upset on the outside, or can Gardner follow and then fight to the front? One more chance for victory here at Gateway. Green flag. Slow start from Gardner as McKinney with a chance to strike for the podium now. Milan is right there. McKinney on the outside of Colton Gardner will hold on to the podium for now. But Gardner's still digging. Garrett Jarnigan on the outside of the 12. Nobody home for Dawson Buchanan. Jackson Milan has been the best of the rest all night long, but it's not been enough. They're still going at it for the podium as Gardner tries around the outside. But it's been all eyes on the number 4 Chevrolet. It's been Dawson domination here in Gateway, and Dawson Buchanan takes victory in the Gateway 75. Fastest lap to finish the night off. Colton Gardner able to fend off Brian McKinney for that bottom spot of the podium. Jackson Milan finishes in second. Still a great drive from the back of the field for Brian McKinney. Jacob Barker salvaging a P5 finish. And man, major chip on the shoulder for Casey Took Had it not been for some contact earlier on for Puntarelli. With Puntarelli, I should say. At worst, a podium drive for the 11. But Dawson Buchanan in a dominant drive is going to burn him down here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Aussie style burnout across the stripe here. Colton, did you join as you were doing the Bernie? You can't.
Dawson won.
Oh, Dawson did. Why am I watching? Okay. My timing was acting weird. I was like, wait, what? We're good. All right, let's check in with your podium here. Let's start off with P3, Colton Gardner. Your race 1 winner at Vegas, not able to bring it back, but it's still a phenomenal drive from you in the 40 gold. Colton, talk to me about your night.
Didn't qualify how I wanted to. This track's very tricky. I went in too hot in qualifying in turn 1 and about lost it on my quick lap. It messed me up, but all in all, got in a wreck in early part of it and just tried to fight back through the field and caught a couple breaks here and there, which were good, but man, that was challenging but fun.
I feel like if you ask most of the field tonight, that would be the vibe from the fields. What felt specifically like what was missing tonight for you, Colt?
Just rear end security. It's hard to get it at this track when it was real hot. early in the race, but it cooled off late in the race, and I was able to get them under me a little bit better. My deal up front was I just hadn't been racing up front with all them boys the whole race. I didn't want to ruin a race for anybody, but glad I didn't. Coming off of two right before that final caution, I was really worried about taking Jax out. Thankfully, didn't do that. But all around, great racing from everybody.
Really, really great drive from you, Colton. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
P2 for Jackson Milan. Pair of podium finishes here for you, good sir, in both the Indy Racing World Series and Wednesday Night Dash. I know not the spot you wanted, but after two very, very challenging races back-to-back, two technical courses, this has got to feel satisfying.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid night overall. I wish I could have ran Dawson down, but that usually never happens. But yeah, overall good night for the Pioneer J Motorsports Chevy.
What felt like was missing on your end of the car? Again, making some really, really good moves there, and especially making it stick on the outside, but what felt like was missing there in the closing laps?
I don't know. I got into the wall a few times, kind of tore up the right front a touch, but that not really an excuse. I just didn't have the rear security like Coleman's talking about. It's hard to keep on the car when you get 20, 30, 25 laps into the run. So, yeah, that's kind of what I struggled with tonight.
So a pair of top three finishes for you. You're doing double duty. How much of a confidence booster is this for you? Not just in the Cup or in the Xfinity cars, but to kind of jump in and out of these different disciplines.
Yeah, the IndyCar series is really fun. I wasn't really taking it too serious last night, but to come away with a P2 last night and then come over here and run top three all night was pretty satisfying and a good week overall.
Phenomenal driving from you as always, Jax. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you. Thanks.
So your race winner here at Gateway should not be too much of a shocker considering he ended season number 5 with a quattro of race wins back-to-back, but it is indeed Dawson Buchanan in the number 4 Chevrolet. Sir, I mean, it was struggling at the beginning, it felt like, but once it was clean air, just like we saw in the Indy cars yesterday, clean air seemed to be such a premium here. What felt like was the biggest help for you tonight in terms of pace?
Well, I think just really getting out there and getting a feel for like I had to get a bunch of laps under me and figure out what was going to work for me. And luckily I found something on the bottom in 3 and 4. I kind of was just holding throttle a little longer and just letting it roll. And I think that made a big difference there in the first stage. And then obviously got that stupid pit road entrance penalty, and that set me back. But got lucky with some cautions there, and just glad everything fell my way for this Carolina Trace Country Club Chevrolet for J Motorsports.
This puts you right back in to the championship fight here. Pretty much puts you in the lead here as we head into round 3. But again, Colton Gardner right behind you, still putting in a phenomenal fight. Jackson Milan right there as well. And if it wasn't for what looked like some technical issues for Tyler Vickery, we would have seen him with a good chunk of championship points as well. Does it feel like it's still very, very tight at this point?
Oh yeah, I mean, you're definitely watching and like asking for updates on where everybody's at, and I've not felt this since probably the truck. So it's nice to be out there, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's these guys are racing really, really, really good this year, and props to them for working hard and just bringing speed every week.
I'm still very, very new to Wednesday Night Dash, but it's very hard for me to ignore when the on-track product is this good. Huge thanks to all 3 of you for the time, and we will see you guys next week. Again, phenomenal driving tonight. That is your podium, though, for the evening at Wednesday Night Dash, round number 2 from Gateway, the Gateway 75, and we will keep it going next week when we head on to, I should know this off the dome, oh my goodness, onto Gateway for some night racing and some super speedway plate racing. back here at 10:15 Eastern. Thanks so much for sticking with us, though, here at Wednesday Night Dash. For everyone at Stadium Scene TV, I'm Jackson Lambros. We'll see you next Wednesday.